Alright, get ready to dive back into one of the most memorable twin adventures of all time. Yeah, you guessed it, I'm talking about the Cramp Twins, an animated series from the 90s which was created by the British cartoonist Brian Wood. Set in the quirky neighborhood of Soap City, the show follows the lives of Lucien and Wayne Cramp, 10-year-old twins who are complete opposites, and I mean in every way possible. If by any chance you don't remember the series, today's your lucky day, because we're going over the entirety of the Cramp Twins from start to finish. So, enough talk. Let's begin. But first, let's meet the characters who will join us on this nostalgic journey. To start, we have Lucien, the older brother, who stands out for his chill personality. He's a great passion for nature, and he's a vegetarian. He's without a doubt quite the brainiac, as he always seems to be right and has great abilities to solve problems. He spends most of his time in the swamp with Tony or Marie, his best friends, looking for animals and plants of the place. Wayne, on the other hand, is the younger brother, and undoubtedly Lucien's headache, as he spends all his free time bothering him. He's a destructive personality, is rough and quick to anger, with a strong passion for junk and a serious sugar addiction. Dorothy is the twins' mother, and has an obsession with order and cleanliness. She has a particular dislike for animals or anything that could make the house dirty, really. Despite her strict house rules, Dorothy is a very caring mother. Horace is the father of the twins, Dorothy's husband. He's somewhat clueless, somewhat clumsy, but very much so has a passion for everything that has to do with cowboys. Horace is the least strict of the parents, ends up even obeying Dorothy a lot of the time. Tony is Lucien's best friend. He spends most of his free time in the swamp since he loves it and has a great knowledge about it. Although he's short in stature, Tony is undoubtedly resourceful and savvy. Marie, Lucien's best friend, also shares the same passion as him for nature. She's someone who's very intelligent and simple. And finally, there's Wendy, the daughter of Horace's boss. She's incredibly pampered and distinctly feminine, always seen wearing pink. She also has a huge crush on Wayne. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Episode 1, here we come. Walk Like a Man begins with all the family having dinner together when all of a sudden, Horace argues about their varying taste preferences. Apparently, Lucien's a vegetarian, and Wayne still has the taste of a little boy. After dinner, Lucien confronts Wayne, asking when he'll finally grow up and stop behaving like such a big baby. Wayne gets upset, arguing that growing up means more responsibilities, something that he obviously doesn't want to deal with. Lucien knows it's time for his brother to grow up, so that same night, he creates the perfect plan for him to become a man. With the hair he found in the pipe, he creates small wigs for Wayne's armpits. Well, that's sanitary. Afterwards, he hides in the closet in Wayne's room until he falls asleep, carefully glues the wigs to his armpits, and uses a pen to draw hairs on his face. Totally typical sleepover vibes, if you ask me. The next morning, Dorothy lets out a scream when she sees Wayne, amazed that her little boy now looks like a grown man. It seems that Lucien's plan worked, since Horace now treats him like a man too. No more little boy breakfast for Wayne. At school, Wayne is definitely a sensation. The girls seem to love his hairy, manly arms, and of course, Wayne is loving all the attention that he's getting.
Wayne, you're so hairy.
You either got it or you ain't.
Lucien, on the other hand, is worried, because not only did his plan go wrong, but he's worried about what will happen when his brother discovers the truth. Meanwhile, Wayne is having the best time of his life. He's getting attention from girls, from his mother, from his dad, and even got his first job interview. But everything suddenly changes when Wayne realizes that having a job goes much further than just making money to buy candy. After finding a job comes marriage, and with it children. And so life becomes increasingly filled with more responsibilities that he's definitely not ready to face. Wayne, scared, returns home to take a bath, and realizes that his body hair is fake. Guess who woke up with fake eyebrows the next day? Let's have a look at episode 3, Food Fight. At school, Wayne excels in sports, displaying remarkable strength and energy that makes him stand out. In contrast, Lucien struggles with sports, and any physical activity in general, finding it difficult to keep up with his brother. Lucien finds this bothersome, as he's the complete opposite of his brother and doesn't receive the same level of attention. Later at the supermarket, Wayne asks his mother to buy a new type of cereal, one that seems to have an excessive amount of sugar. And although Dorothy isn't sure whether to buy it or not, she ends up giving in and buying it for him. At home, Wayne eats the cereal that's loaded with sugar, giving him tons of energy. Lucien wants to try it too, but Wayne refuses to share. Nonetheless, Lucien manages to snatch the leftovers and experience the same surge of energy when he tries it. Lucien goes back for more cereal and soon finds himself hooked. as the feeling he's experiencing after eating it is absolutely incredible. Not only is he faster, but he's got a lot of girls after him. However, this doesn't last long, as his best friend Mary exposes him, telling everyone that the reason for his energy is all because of the cereal. This causes Dorothy to ban cereal for both of them. No more of these sugar bombs for Wayne or for Lucien. Honestly though, give me a box of Fruit Loops or something, I'd probably act pretty similar. Episode number 5, The Bad Seed, begins with Lucien wondering whether he's truly a member of the family or if he was adopted, given his noticeable differences from his parents and his brother. Because, while Lucien is a lover of nature, his family sells insecticides, and Wayne, well, Wayne is just a bully. Tony, his best friend, supports this idea because, yes, Lucien is indeed very different. However, this doesn't seem to affect him at all. In fact, he hopes to be the lost son of some Nobel Peace Prize winning scientist or some other important activist. To clear up his doubts, Lucien decides to pay a visit to the civil registry and carefully examine his family tree. There, he discovers that sadly, he's not adopted. Yet a torn-out page from the record book grabs his attention, awakening in him a desire to delve deeper into the matter. Determined to solve the mystery, Lucien seeks help from Tony's father, Mr. Parsons, who, due to his advanced age, will surely know something about it. Mr. Parsons tells Lucien that the reason the page is missing is because it's likely related to the Bad Seed and Little Hat, the most feared bully duo of all time.
And walk barefoot down Main Street. They were bad.
Lucien is surprised, realizing that bully blood might be running in his genes. Poor Lucien. At dinner, he shares his findings about the family's bullying traits, and Wayne, predictably, turns to love it. Deciding to embrace the legacy as the family's next-generation bully, Wayne starts small by stealing letters from the postman, taking everyone's cake at school, and bothering people on the street. Lucien, of course, goes after him, determined to stop his brother from causing more disaster. Well, Lucien won't allow history to repeat itself, not on his watch. Unsuccessfully, Lucien returns to Mr. Parsons because he realizes something. All this time, Mr. Parsons had been keeping the missing page from the record book. Turns out that the Cramps and Parsons families have been friends for generations. In fact, Little Hat is none other than Mr. Parson himself. Wow, how small the world really is. I guess, hooray for Lucien for discovering the mystery of his family. Next up is episode 13, The Great Luciani. After a bad day at school, Wayne returns home to watch some television. As he relaxes, a commercial for a magic game comes on, catching his attention. The ad features a magician making people vanish, a trick that Wayne finds absolutely fascinating. Without hesitation, he rushes to the store to buy the magic kit, eager to vanish everyone, starting with Lucien. At dinner, Wayne invites the whole family to witness his grand magic show, but he fails to successfully perform any of his tricks. Lucien tells Wayne that magic is all about strategy and illusion, explaining that there are no real magic words and that it's impossible to make someone actually disappear. Furious, Wayne retreats to his room. Seeing Wayne's disappointment, Dorothy scolds Lucien for discouraging his brother and forces him to help Wayne achieve his desired trick. Lucien goes to Wayne's room and tries to explain that magic is more about reading and following the instructions on the box, rather than using mystical words. This explanation makes Wayne even more furious, as he doesn't understand how Lucien can perform tricks so effortlessly without using any magic words. Back with the family, Wayne asks Lucien to make him disappear, and after a few attempts using the red magic box, Lucien manages to do so. Hooray! Or rather, oh no, because both Lucien and their parents are astounded and clueless about how to bring him back.
Stop trying to ruin Wayne's show. Say abracadabra, Bobby gone to disapparoni.
However, this doesn't seem to worry Lucien as much, as he knows that Wayne is just hiding somewhere. On the other hand, his parents are convinced that Wayne has been transported to another dimension, and urgently demand Lucien to bring him back. Lucien asks for Tony's help to search for Wayne, and after spending some time looking around, they find him sleeping in Dirty Joe's yard. Wayne dashes back home and hides in the same box Lucien used for the disappearing trick, planning to pretend that he was there the entire time. So that his parents will put all the blame on Lucien and punish him. While Wayne tells his parents about all the fear he felt being in the other dimension, Lucien asks him how he managed to return, to which Wayne claims he simply repeated the magic words that made him disappear. Lucien, who is plotting something against his brother, ready to use a powder as a distraction and pretend to also disappear, asks Wayne to repeat the words. And abracadabra, Boganodo, come back Cardo. Lucien disappears. Guess who gets punished now? On to episode 15, Fashion Passion. It's school photo day, and Lucien wakes up fresh, more than ready, and looking for his best clothes, while Wayne struggles to even open his eyes, because apparently his eyelids are stuck shut. In his haste, Wayne grabs the first thing he can find from his dresser. You guessed it, his outfit looks unusual. Or like Lucien describes it, he looks like a freak. At school, everyone eagerly awaits their turn for the school photo since it's rumored that the photographer is one of the best in the city. That's impossible to look bad in his photos. When Wayne steps up for his turn, the photographer is visibly impressed. He loves his outfit. Wayne is such a true fashion original. Well, according to him, of course. This compliment makes Wayne the most popular boy in school, with everyone eager to be just like him. Initially, Wayne enjoys the spotlight, until things get out of hand. As everyone tries to copy him, they unconsciously destroy his favorite place, Dirty Joe's yard, by stealing all the junk and garbage that there is. Or as Wayne would describe it, his treasures.
Did you see that? Wayne keeps cool scrap in his locker.
So?
Wayne demands that everyone stop imitating him and return the items that they took, but no one pays attention. Lucian, seeing this, advises his brother to fake his death, as he believes this is the only way to make everyone forget about imitating Wayne and restore everything back to normal. Yep, that sounds like it'll work. However, Wayne has another idea in mind: to dress up like Wendy, complete with a pink dress, pink shoes, a pink bow, everything pink and super feminine. And his plan works. No one seems to like his new fashion statement. A monochromatic, girly fit turned out to be a solution to all his problems. Episode 20, Kung Foolish, starts with Lucian and Wayne having a fight at school, where Wayne obviously takes the lead in the confrontation. Upon seeing this, Marie suggests to Lucian that he should take martial arts classes, explaining that martial arts can make someone defeat their opponent even if they're weaker or smaller, as it relies more on strategy than strength. Lucian doesn't hesitate for a second, and he enrolls in a martial arts school where he learns the arts of karatsu, the combination of karate, jujitsu, and kung fu.
Champ, I know what you're looking for in here.
Wayne, surprised and a little scared to see his brother improve so much with his self-defense skills, decides to also enroll in a martial arts school. However, unlike his brother, Wayne decides to learn the art of Tai Chuan, in which power is achieved by meditation. Wayne seems fascinated with this new martial art, as his master tells him that mastering it could allow him to even move mountains with just his mind. At home, each brother practices his respective art. Lucian practices his movements, while Wayne focuses on his meditation, feeling confident in his abilities. Lucian challenges Wayne to a duel. But things don't go as Lucian expects. Wayne doesn't even move a bit, just continues meditating. Wendy, who sees everything, tries to convince Wayne to stand up and fight, but Wayne doesn't budge, making Wendy get bored and leave. Wayne, deeply focused on his meditation, mistakenly believes he made Wendy disappear when he opened his eyes and couldn't see her, boosting his confidence in his technique. Lucian attempts to distract him, hoping to disturb his concentration and start a fight, but he fails.
I made Wendy gone. It's the power of Tai Kung.
However, Wayne becomes enraged when he sees Lucian eating his favorite cereal. So in a spontaneous reaction, and without much effort, Wayne knocks his brother down. Who would have guessed that Wayne's Achilles heel is his cereal? Up next, episode 21, Twin Studies. At work, Horace is informed that a prestigious psychologist, Miss Monkfish, is in town and is interested in studying Lucian and Wayne for his research on twins. Without much to say, Horace accepts and invites her to dinner. At dinner, Lucian feels uncomfortable with Miss Monkfish's presence, especially due to her views on twins, as she maintains that all twins, identical or not, tend to behave in a similar way, and even have their own language to communicate with each other. This notion clearly doesn't hold for Lucian and Wayne, who are polar opposites in every conceivable way. Lucian tries to convince Miss Monkfish that her theory's wrong, but she only becomes irritated and insists that the brothers undergo a series of tests to prove her right. But this only increases Lucian's anger, as he realizes that Miss Monkfish is manipulating the results to make it seem like her theory is valid. And because she constantly mistakes him for Wayne, I wonder what it's like for adults to always want to be right. Sometimes it's exhausting.
Yes, Lucian. It's lovely to see you both looking so perky. Now we can make an early start on my tests.
For the last test, Miss Monkfish asked the twins to draw their feelings, resulting in different drawings from each brother. Frustrated with the results, Miss Monkfish asks Wayne to draw again, as she plans to claim one of his drawings as Lucian's, to manipulate the outcome and support her theory. Ready with the results, Miss Monkfish goes to gather her things to leave, but as she does, she discovers that Lucian's hamster has devoured all of her papers, effectively destroying all of the evidence. Hysterical, Miss Monkfish blames Lucian for the disaster, not knowing that it was actually all Wayne's idea. Well, Wayne never liked her either. I mean, how could she say that his brother is just like him? Let's check out episode 22, Birthday Blues. Just before the school day ends, Wendy takes the opportunity to invite everyone to her birthday party, starting with Wayne, her crush. At home, Lucien shows the invitation to his parents, since apparently they were also invited. Dorothy and Horace quickly go in search for the best and most beautiful gift for Wendy, as they need to make a good impression not only to the birthday girl, but also to her entire family. Especially since Wendy's father is Horace's boss. Horace comes home with a beautiful dollhouse for Wendy, a gift that will undoubtedly be appreciated. Inspired by this, Lucien also decides to give Wendy a personalized gift, proposing to knit a sweater for her. Dorothy loves this idea, believing that a handmade gift adds a special touch that will perfectly complement the dollhouse. Seeing this, Wayne decides to add his own twist to the gifts. In an attempt to sabotage them, Wayne puts moths into the sweater that Lucien had embroidered and hides the dollhouse, replacing it with a piece of scrap metal that he found in Dirty Joe's yard. Wayne is clearly up to something.
Rise and shine! It's 6 o'clock and it's party day! We only have 9 hours to get ready!
At the party, everything seems to be going well. Dorothy and Horace are making a good impression, and Wendy is more than happy to see Wayne. It's time to open the presents. But none of them seem to impress Wendy, until Wayne's gift arrives. However, chaos breaks out when Wendy goes ahead and opens Lucien's gift, as thousands of moths emerge from it, causing everyone to freak out. However, Dorothy quickly solves the problem by exterminating the moths with a powerful insecticide. Fearing that they've spoiled their good impression, the Cramps apologize, as they notice that everyone is angry. It's at that moment that Wayne admits it was all his idea, as his intention was to make Wendy dislike him. But contrary to his expectations, this only makes Wendy fall even more in love with him. Well, we could say that in the end, the party ended well, because the birthday girl is happy. And that's the only thing that matters. Episode 28, Agent X, begins with Wayne hiding from Wendy. Well, it's no secret that Wendy's obsessed with him, though the feeling is not mutual. At dinner, Wayne seems distracted, hasn't touched his food. Dorothy finds this behavior strange, so she decides to check him out, as she thinks that he might be sick or something. However, upon closer inspection, everything seems normal. Or, well, besides a small stain that Wayne has on his neck. Dorothy, with her well-known obsession for cleanliness, tries everything to remove it. But despite several attempts and various cleaning products, she fails. Apparently, the stain is more than just a stain. Wink wink. Dorothy feels defeated, as she has no idea why, as a cleaning expert, she can't remove the stain. Seeing Dorothy lose her spark and spend her time complaining about how bad of a cleaner she is, her friends decide to arrange for her to meet with Agent X, hoping that some expert training will help her hone her skills and restore her confidence, making her even better than before. However, in Dorothy's absence, chaos breaks loose at the Cramps household. Without her to maintain order, the house quickly devolves into a real dumpster. Anyway, after some time away, Dorothy finally returns, feeling more skilled and confident than ever. So it doesn't take her long to clean everything up. She also notices that the stain on Wayne's neck is gone, and asks him how he managed to clean it. Lucien then reveals that it was never something that could be cleaned. It was simply Wendy's love bite. Moving on to episode 29, Room Rage, today is one of Wayne's favorite days, as today is dump day at Dirty Joe's place. For Wayne, that means one thing: more treasures for his junk collection. Meanwhile, Lucien is also making the most of his day. With Tony's help, he goes in search of more soil to expand his terrarium of worms, his new pets. There's just one catch. The brothers need to be extremely cautious when bringing their treasures home, as Dorothy would never approve. I mean, who would let their kids bring dirt and garbage back home? Amazingly, Wayne and Lucien think of the same plan to get into the house without their mother noticing. Rat each other out. Wayne betrays Lucien about the soil, and Lucien betrays Wayne about the scrap metal. Dorothy, suspecting that the two are up to something, decides to conduct a room inspection. And of course, doesn't forget the garage, which is also Horace's room. Both Lucien and Wayne ask Dorothy to inspect their rooms last. To have time to hide everything. So Dorothy begins the inspection in Horace's room. At first glance, everything appears to be in order. But soon, Dorothy notices that one section of the wall is cleaner than the rest, which means that Horace hid the photo that Dorothy hates so much instead of getting rid of it, as he had promised.
Did you ever get rid of that picture you used to have of Rodeo Rita?
However, Horace somehow convinces her otherwise, and Dorothy continues her inspection to Lucien's room. Lucien, who hid the dirt with the worms under his covers with Tony's help, lets Dorothy pass. Dorothy is surprised to see Tony in bed, but says nothing about the room since everything is suspiciously in order. Just then, a loud noise is heard, and Lucien quickly suggests to Dorothy that it was probably Wayne, who has amassed thousands of pieces of scrap metal in his room. Dorothy immediately goes to Wayne's room, only to discover that his room is the cleanest and most organized of all. Without a doubt, a gratifying surprise for her. After everyone leaves his room, Wayne, who had hidden all of his junk with Dirty Joe's help, decides it's time to put everything back in its place. Dirty Joe, waiting outside in the yard with a crane loaded with Wayne's belongings, is ordered to bring everything back into the room. However, Dirty Joe miscalculates the amount of scrap, causing it to overflow from Wayne's room and spread throughout the entire house, causing a total disaster. Dorothy is furious as she sees not only scrap metal, but worms, dirt, and the photo that she hates so much. Guess who ends up sleeping outside that night as punishment? In episode 36, Spies, a new neighbor arrives in Soap City and is amazed by the impeccable condition of Dorothy's clothes. Curious, she asks Lucien what her mother's trick is, but Lucien refuses to reveal it as it's a very well-kept family secret. However, Lucien tells her that she can contact her father since he sells certain cleaning products that might interest her. That same night, Horace returns home with hand-knit sweaters and a ton of food that the new neighbor gave him. Lots of pies, cheese-shaped animals, and more pie. Everyone seems to like this gesture, except for Dorothy, who gets a little jealous. The next morning, Lucien goes in search of more pie in the fridge, as does Wayne. And well, the new neighbor's pie is seriously next level. Believing there's only one last piece left standing, Wayne and Lucien race towards the fridge, competing to get there first. However, upon opening the door, they're surprised to discover that there is not just one piece, but a whole bunch of more pies waiting for them. Turns out that Dorothy was the one who baked them, and not only that, but she also hand-knitted hundreds of sweaters just to prove to Horace that she's better at baking and crafts than the new neighbor. Someone is really jealous. However, Horace doesn't pay much attention to Dorothy, as he's happier with the cheese figurines that the new neighbor gave them. Seeing his mother upset and his father uncaring, Lucien decides to do something. So together with Wayne, he goes to talk to the new neighbor. However, his attempt to talk with her fails, as the neighbor completely ignores them, slamming the door in their face. As gifts keep arriving, Lucien decides to take matters into his own hands and do something himself. Lucien mentions his concerns to his father because he's more than sure that this is one of the neighbor's strategies to get the cleaning recipe that Dorothy uses to leave her clothes spotless. Horace thinks Lucien is delusional, telling him that Dorothy creates her own products from scratch, making it impossible for the neighbor to have them.
My guess is that woman will stop at nothing to get herself noticed. Mom's worked for years to get a bit of respect in this town.
Lucien then realizes that maybe the only way to stop this is to give to the new neighbor Dorothy's secret recipe. So that same day, as Horace visits her, Lucien discreetly places the product inside his father's suitcase so that Biddy, her neighbor, can take it. Biddy finally gets what she wants, and it doesn't take long before she starts boasting about having the cleanest clothes in the neighborhood. However, her overuse of the product leads to disaster. The clothes become so shiny that they actually catch fire, resulting in everything being destroyed. Dorothy, upon finding this out, gets angry with her children, since she knows that they were the ones responsible for telling the neighbor her secret. But for some reason, who stops caring when she hears that the neighbor's name is Biddy? I wonder who Biddy is to Dorothy. Get ready for episode 38, Wholesome. Dorothy has just created a powerful new cleaning product and wants to test it on her family to make sure that it's safe for humans. Naturally, neither the twins nor Horace are thrilled with the idea of becoming her lab rats, so they make every effort to avoid her. Lucien and Horace, without thinking about it, run to hide in Wayne's room as it's the safest room in the entire house. However, Wayne isn't happy with the idea of everyone hiding in the same room, since that makes it easier for Dorothy to find them. In an attempt to distract his mother, Wayne ties Lucien to a skateboard and sends him rolling outdoors, presenting him as an initial sacrifice to Dorothy. Lucien, afraid that Dorothy will experiment on him, quickly frees himself and escapes to the safety of the nearby swamp. When neither Horace nor Wayne come out of their hiding places, even at lunchtime, Dorothy thinks of a strategy: to imitate the knocks of a door-to-door salesman. Horace, deceived by the trick, initially comes to the door, but upon recognizing Dorothy, he quickly retreats back to one of the boys' rooms. As time passes and dinner time arrives, Dorothy decides to prepare an irresistibly delicious meal, hoping that the aroma will draw them out.
Lunchtime!
Finally, her plan works, and they both come out, attracted by the delicious smell. Wayne and Horace are nervous to try the food since Dorothy is constantly watching them. However, they take advantage of a moment when she steps away to quickly devour everything, and as expected, they end up making a mess. After finishing eating, the pair run to hide again. Meanwhile, Dorothy waits quietly for Lucien to return home from the swamp. When Lucien finally arrives, Dorothy tests her new liquid on him, but the liquid proves to be very powerful, completely disintegrating Lucien's sweater on contact. That night, as Dorothy sleeps, the trio work together to quietly steal the dangerous liquid from her. They manage to get rid of it successfully, eliminating the threat once and for all. No more dangerous experiments, at least for now. Next up, episode 40, Sick Days. During class, Marie is constantly sneezing, clearly showing that she's sick. The teacher, noticing it, allows her to go home to recover. Seizing the opportunity, Wayne pretends to be sick as well, hoping to get sent home too. However, the teacher quickly notices that Wayne is lying, as he lacks any symptoms, no sneezing, no fever, and no appearance of being unwell. So instead, she sends Wayne to detention. During recess, Wayne is desperately trying to catch the flu, even asking his classmates to sneeze on him. That's really gross. Back at home, Wayne continues trying everything to get sick. He bathes in cold water, opens the windows all night, and even sleeps without blankets. Seems like someone's really not a fan of school. This seems to work out, as the next morning, Wayne wakes up with a fever, coughing and sneezing, and of course, Dorothy doesn't allow him to go to school. Wayne finally is the day off he wanted so much, but it's not all fun and games, as Dorothy doesn't let him enjoy his favorite activities like reading comics. Instead, Dorothy places him in a special suit designed to prevent Wayne from spreading germs. However, this suit is restrictive and doesn't allow him to move, forcing him to spend all day sitting in the living room.
Of course, dear.
What's this?
A field of pure, fresh.
Lucian, seeing this, prefers not to get sick and does everything possible to not get the flu. At school, Tony suggests Lucian to chew on swamp tulip petals, as he explains it's the best way to avoid getting flu germs. Lucian decides to test it out. Surprisingly, it seems to work. However, the teacher quickly catches on and makes him spit them out, as eating in class is strictly forbidden. Undeterred, Lucian then crafts a sweater from the swamp tulip petals to serve as a protective shield. But Tony is skeptical, pointing out that the petals need to be chewed to be effective, not simply worn. However, Lucian quickly experiences an allergic reaction by wearing swamp tulip petals, causing itching all over his body and a severe rash. When he returns home, Dorothy notices not only his allergies flaring up, but also that he's sick. Deciding to take no chances, Dorothy decides to put him in a suit similar to Wayne's, connecting both together. Now we can say that those brothers are truly inseparable. Alright, let's continue with episode 47, Worm Funeral. Seeing Lucian devastated by the death of his pet worm, Wayne steps in to make him feel better. Wayne plans the best way possible to ensure the little worm receives a proper send-off by organizing an exceptional funeral. This leaves everybody amazed, as it's not usual for him to help his brother or simply do something nice for him, or for anyone for that matter. Lucian, very moved by the gesture, decides to thank him by giving Wayne a book on the burial practices of ancient Egyptians. Wayne is more than delighted with his new book and decides to put certain practices he finds to the test. With great enthusiasm, Wayne shows Lucian how he wraps objects such as cheese, a roast chicken, and a carrot, imitating the mummification techniques of the ancient Egyptians. But Lucian explains that he's missed the point, since that's only done with things that have been loved before, not just with random objects. Understanding this, Wayne decides to steal the stuffed animals that Lucian loves so much and create a pyramid with pieces of scrap metal in Dirty Joe's yard to bury them.
What's in the barrels?
Acetic acid. Trade name? Vinegar.
Lucian, with Tony's help, chases Wayne to the pyramid. Once there, they hatch a rescue plan with a mischievous twist. Tony sneaks into the box Wayne is using as a sarcophagus, intending to scare him during the burial of the last stuffed animal. Unaware of the prank, Wayne returns with the stuffed animal and after a brief ritual, opens the box, receiving the scare of his life. Wayne, terrified at the sight of what he thinks is a mummy, takes off running, giving Lucian the perfect opportunity to gather all of his stuffed animals and head back home to clean them up. Meanwhile, Wayne, scared by what he saw, is definitely finished playing with that for good. Next up is episode 56, Girls Gang. At school, Marie is upset not only because Wendy stole her cupcake during lunch, but also because Lucian states that it's better this way, arguing that too much sugar is unhealthy. Frustrated with her image as the innocent little girl who can't defend herself, Marie decides it's time for a radical change. Now Marie is more into action and tough stuff, and even swaps to wear leather clothes to match her new attitude. At school, Marie makes everybody afraid of her, and even gets Wendy to bring her more dessert, like the one she had stolen from her before. However, her new attitude bothers Lucian, as he finds it strange to see her acting like a total mean girl, but does grab Wayne's attention as he finds it extremely cool. Wendy, seeing how much Wayne admires Mary's bold new attitude, becomes jealous and decides to imitate her. Wendy even proposes that they start a girls' gang together, hoping to capture Wayne's attention too. Marie and Wendy quickly begin to be feared by everybody, as they become the new mean girls at school. With their power growing, Wayne desperately wants to join the gang.
Yeah, Wayne, go away!
But as you can imagine, there's one teensy little issue about that. See, Marie won't let him in since it's only for girls. and girls only. Wendy is frustrated because her initial plan to join Marie was to catch Wayne's attention and spend more time with him. However, when she notices that Marie's prohibition to join the gang makes Wayne even more interested to the point of him basically chasing them everywhere, she decides it might be a good approach after all, and decides to ignore him too. After being rejected, Wayne does everything possible to join them, even going to school dressed as a girl. But Marie is more cunning and doesn't fall into his trap, unlike Wendy, who does. However, Marie accepts him into the group, till she finds out that Wayne only wanted to join them so he could take on another girl gang, since a boy should never hit a girl, but if he's disguised as a girl, he technically could. However, this makes Marie go back to being who she was before, a calm and kind girl, as she has had enough of this drama. Lesson learned: no more Mean Girls gang ever again. Episode 60, Eggbound, begins with Lucian in the swamp enjoying a walk when he finds an egg. Lucian realizes that its mother is nowhere to be found, so he decides to take the egg home and take care of it. Lucian asks Tony for help in identifying the egg, as he has no clue to which animal it belongs to, but Tony's unsure too. Despite his uncertainty, Tony strongly suggests that Lucian returns the egg to the swamp. Lucian, however, refuses to do so, as he's already too attached to it. He even started dressing the egg in his old baby clothes. Upon returning home, Tony draws the egg on a piece of paper and asks his father if he has ever seen anything like that before. To his surprise, his father tells him that it's a magical egg that became extinct a long time ago.
Anyone who ate one of the eggs enjoyed good fortune for 38 days.
Tony quickly returns to Lucian to warn him about the egg, explaining that problems could arise if anyone else finds out that he's found such a rare specimen after so long. Tony suggests that it would be best to keep it a secret. However, Wayne suspects that Lucian is hiding something, so he brings Dorothy and Horace to see it and punish him, since Dorothy doesn't allow pets in the house. However, to everyone's surprise, Dorothy and Horace are delighted with the egg, even treating it as a new member of the family. Well, in the end, the egg is like a baby. You can't be mean to babies. Everything seems to be going well until Walter, Horace's boss, finds out about the egg. Walter quickly goes to the Cramps' house to try to eat the egg, as it's believed that doing so will bring you years of good luck. However, Lucian unknowingly prevents him from doing it by entering the room just at the right moment. Lucian, surprised to find Mr. Winkle in his room, begins to suspect something strange and runs to check the status of his egg, only to discover that Wayne has taken him away from the house. The entire neighborhood joins in the search for Wayne, as everyone is behind the same thing. They want the egg. Wayne, not knowing what to do, runs towards the swamp.
The egg. I need the egg.
And just when it seems like he has no escape, the egg hatches, revealing a baby crocodile. While the revelation causes the neighbors to disperse in disappointment, Lucian and Wayne are thrilled, as they think it's super cool to have a crocodile as a new pet. However, happiness is short-lived, because Mama Croc shows up and the boys book it out of there, faster than you can say, "See you later, alligator." Okay, that one was pretty good. Diving into episode 63, Hankenstein, it's disinfection day at school, so the teachers inform the entire class that they must take home the classroom pets, since the chemicals that will be used to clean the classrooms are very toxic and could be harmful to the animals. Everyone runs to choose their favorite pet. However, no one seems eager to take care of one particularly restless rabbit. Lucian, as passionate as he is, knows that he cannot leave the rabbit behind, so he ends up taking it home. Dorothy is initially upset when Lucian brings home an animal, but her mood softens when she notices that the rabbit, which is neatly caged and smells clean, isn't causing any trouble. She agrees to let it stay, but only under the condition that it remains inside its cage at all times. While Lucian asks Tony to help him with the rabbit, as he's very restless and difficult to handle, Wayne enters the room demanding that they turn down the noise. Upon this, Lucian and Tony realize that the rabbit, for some reason, obeys Wayne's screams. The duo is amazed by this, and so is Wayne, who decides to take the rabbit with him. Wayne quickly becomes attached to the rabbit, as they do everything together. They go for walks, play together, and even prank strangers.
Stop! Stop now!
Everything seems to be going well, till the next morning, Wayne wakes up without a voice. Turns out his voice was the only thing keeping the rabbit controlled, so now the rabbit no longer responds to him. Instead, becomes utterly unpredictable, and even bites him. When Dorothy notices this, she makes Horace take care of the situation. But without Wayne's voice to control it, it's almost impossible to bring the rabbit back to its cage. As expected, the rabbit makes a mess, and then runs away. Lucian urgently searches for the rabbit, knowing it's not just his pet, but the classrooms, and it's crucial that he find it. Despite looking everywhere, he comes up empty-handed. Fortunately, Tony stumbles upon the rabbit. It had been with another rabbit from the class that Wendy was responsible for. In the end, it looks like the rabbit just wanted to be with its mate. Man, that bunny's got a better love life than I do. Episode 67, Bully for Wayne, begins with Lucian being the tour guide for the new student. However, Lucian isn't too keen on the idea, as the new guy is not only huge and intimidating, but he's also rude. Back at home, Lucian complains to Tony about the big guy, whose name is Brick, mentioning that he fears him more than Wayne. Wayne, who's passing by upon hearing this, becomes very upset, as no one's a better bully than he is. At school, Wayne suggests to Brick to be friends, aiming to secure his status as the top bully, to which Brick accepts. However, Wayne soon regrets his proposal, as he realizes that Brick doesn't understand the concept of friend, treating him as badly as the others. Wayne tries his best to get away from Brick, who follows him everywhere, but fails, forcing him to continue pretending to like him. To maintain his reputation as a bully. Lucian notices Wayne's discomfort around Brick, and feeling a bit of sympathy for his brother, decides to intervene. He teams up with Tony to spy on Brick's house to uncover something that might help Wayne get rid of him. During their surveillance, they discover that Brick's mother is another bully. Go figure.
Technically, Pumpkin, we do live on the street.
Don't you sass me and get my dinner!
Back at school, Wayne takes a stand and tells Brick he no longer wants to be friends. This only angers Brick, making him about to start a fight when Lucian steps in. Trying to calm things down, Lucian explains that he understands the reasons behind Brick's aggressive behavior. But unfortunately, his attempt at empathy only fuels Brick's anger further. Just as tensions escalate, Brick's sister intervenes, effectively taking control by leading him away by the ear. Turns out she's been his personal bully at home. She informs him that their mother has been promoted at work and they'll be moving to another city soon. This makes Wayne happy, since it means that once again, he will be the only and best bully in the entire school. Next up, episode 70, Cramp vs. Cramp. At school, Wayne gets jealous after hearing about all the amazing activities and incredible places one of his classmates visited during the holiday. So he decides to go ask him how his holiday turned out to be so much better than his own. The boy tells Wayne that it's common to have several activities like that when your parents get divorced. You have double of everything. Upon hearing this, Wayne hatches a brilliant idea, getting his parents to split up, as, he also wants to have double the fun. Wayne returns home and does everything he can to get his parents to argue, but he doesn't succeed. After several attempts he does. However, Lucian realizes what Wayne is up to and confronts him, explaining that divorce doesn't mean double the fun, it means double the trouble. Realizing the potential consequences of his actions, Wayne suddenly feels very scared. If his parents were to divorce, Dorothy might decide to move them in with their grandma, which is the last thing Wayne wants.
It's just another chem hazard. Now wait a minute, that stuff's been approved by the Board of Dangerous Chemicals.
Wayne tries to solve things between his parents before they make a bad decision, and after some struggling, he succeeds. Well, it's evident that Dorothy and Horace love each other too much to even think about splitting up. Relieved to see things settling down at home, Wayne proposes a vacation for his parents, pitching it as a form of family therapy. To his surprise, they love the idea, but with a twist. They decide to go alone, leaving Wayne and Lucian behind. In the end, Wayne and Lucian find themselves under the care of their dearest grandmother. In episode 85, Tattoo Boy, Wayne is flexing his new muscles outside in the garden when he spots Lucian and decides to show him how manly he's become. However, Lucian doesn't seem to care much, so Wayne decides to go hang out with real men, meaning with Dirty Joe. Once there, Wayne not only meets with Dirty Joe, but also with his friends, who show off their man tattoos. Wayne, seeing this, wants one too, and asks one of them to tattoo him. However, they turn him down, explaining that he must first get permission from his mother and father before he can get one. Wayne returns home to ask for permission, but it's more than clear that Dorothy denies it, arguing that he would not harm his body just for a little ink.
Just a little one? No! But Dirty Joe has lots, even on his butt!
Wayne, not caring what his mother thinks, goes back to Joe and gets a small skull tattooed. Everyone at school is initially shocked to see Wayne with the tattoo, but their interest quickly fades. In a bid to regain their attention, Wayne starts coming to school with a new tattoo every day, gradually covering his entire body with ink in an effort to stay in the spotlight. Lucian considers telling Dorothy about Wayne's tattoos, but Wayne quickly blackmails him into silence, threatening to spill the tea about Lucian's organic underwear. Reluctantly, Lucian agrees to keep quiet, though Wayne's behavior continues to irritate him. Eventually, Lucian's patience snaps, and he tells Dorothy everything. True to his word, Wayne also tells Dorothy everything. However, Wayne comes out on top in the debacle, as it turns out his tattoos are fake and wash off easily in the shower.
Hey, Dave! I washed all the tattoos off, so I got room for some more! I even brought some new pens! Dave?
Leaving Lucian to face the consequences for his choice of underwear. In episode 88, Rotten Romance, Wayne goes to visit Dirty Joe as usual, but is surprised to see a girl at his house. It turns out Dirty Joe has a new girlfriend, but Wayne doesn't seem to like her, until she gives him a bunch of chocolate. Yeah, that'll do it. Back at home, Lucian asks Wayne where he got so many chocolates, to which Wayne replies that it was Joe's new girlfriend who gave it to him. Lucian finds the gesture very sweet, but Wayne doesn't seem to mind as he's interested only in chocolates, not in love or girls. This sparks an argument between the brothers. While Lucian thinks having a girlfriend is wonderful, Wayne dismisses it as completely pointless. After their argument, Lucian is left feeling insecure, wondering if Wayne might have a point. Perhaps his singleness is due to his appearance. Troubled by this thought, he rushes to the bathroom to experiment with a new hairstyle, hoping a fresh look might boost his confidence. At school, Lucian can't stop thinking about the idea of having a girlfriend, and after seeing a special glow in Marie, which he had never seen before, he takes it as a sign and asks her to be his girlfriend. Despite agreeing to date, Marie isn't entirely comfortable with the idea because Lucian seems to be moving too fast, which scares her. They've already gone on their first date, where he gave her flowers and even tried to kiss her.
Underneath the heart-shaped leaves of the love tangle tree. It's the perfect place to make out.
However, Wendy, by seeing this, gets very jealous, as she doesn't understand how she, being the prettiest in the class, doesn't have a boyfriend, and Marie does. It's for that reason that Wendy tries to create a plan to win Lucian's affection and make him break up with Marie. However, it fails, as Lucian genuinely likes Marie. Marie, on the other hand, realizes that she doesn't feel the same way about Lucian, and she prefers to just be his friend. So she dumps him. Lucian is left alone once again, and Wayne makes fun of his situation, telling him that it's much better to be single, as an independent and fulfilled individual. Let's continue on with episode 96, Cool for Cramp. Wayne is carrying his new skateboard, which he found in Dirty Joe's yard, back home, when he runs into Mr. Parsons, Tony's dad. To Wayne's surprise, Mr. Parsons shows him some super cool moves on the skateboard, so Wayne returns home more than happy. However, when Wayne mentions to his parents how impressive Mr. Parsons was, Horace becomes jealous, as he also wants to prove that he's a cool dad. Horace takes the skateboard and tries to do some cool tricks as well, but ends up falling to the ground, hurting his hand. Dorothy, seeing this, forbids Wayne from using skateboarding anymore, as she considers it a dangerous sport. Wayne gets angry with his father, telling him that he's not cool at all. After this, Horace becomes increasingly jealous, as apparently Mr. Parsons isn't only the cool dad in the neighborhood, but also Wendy's dad, Mr. Winkle, who's an expert in wrestling.
Wendy's daddy has kindly agreed to Mexican body slam.
Horace tries everything to be a cool dad. He even dresses up as a cowboy to show the kids some tricks, but nothing works, as this only makes Lucian and Wayne ashamed of him. Seeing Wayne captivated by a high-speed chase on TV, Horace, eager to show that he's a cool dad, decides to take the kids to school in a car at full speed. However, his attempt to impress backfires quickly, when the police pull him over and arrest him for speeding. Ironically, this misadventure makes Wayne think his dad is really cool. In the end, Horace manages to score the cool dad title in Wayne's eyes. Moving on, episode 102, Twin Toys. Wayne decides to go up to the attic and check for old things to sell, as he needs money. After collecting a box full of old toys and clothes, Wayne heads to a store to sell them. However, the saleswoman suggests that he return with the twin toy of the one he already has, explaining that this way he could get more money for the sale. Wayne knows that the missing toy is Lucian's, so he goes to his brother to look for it. However, Lucian doesn't have it, since that toy was lost many years ago. Wayne notices that Lucian is sad after mentioning the toy, so he decides to help him look for it. Wayne and Lucian search everywhere, in the swamp, in Dirty Joe's yard, behind every bush in the neighborhood, but they can't find anything. Lucian loses hope because the toy was lost a long time ago, and it's almost impossible to find it. However, that same night, Wayne remembers how he lost the toy. An owl grabbed it and carried it to Tony's house. This means that the toy is most likely still there.
That owl flew away! It went bye-bye in the sky!
That's a lie, Wayne Cramp! A lie!
So the next morning, Wayne visits Tony and asks him about the toy. Tony reveals to Wayne that it was his owl who took the toy, explaining that it's common for his pet owl to do that. When Wayne asks for the toy back, Tony declines, as it's his owl's favorite toy. Wayne, observing the other objects that the owl has brought, makes Tony a proposal. If he takes all those objects to sell them along with Lucian's toy, in exchange, he will keep quiet about Tony, Lucian's best friend, secretly hoarding Lucian's favorite toy this whole time. Although the deal is not entirely fair, Tony agrees. Wayne returns home with the toy, and Lucian is more than happy. Without a doubt, Wayne is the best brother ever. However, what Wayne really cares about is selling the items, so he heads to the store to do so. Unluckily for him, the seller suspects that the items are stolen and calls the police. The police escort Wayne back to his house to verify with the Cramps whether the items in question actually belong to the family. Dorothy and Horace, not wanting any problems, lie and claim that they do. Now, not only is Lucian happy to get his toy back, but Dorothy and Horace are too.
Scoured the neighborhood for our lost family treasures. Not to mention the other treasures he quite legally and legitimately dug up from the ground.
since apparently they really like the objects that Wayne brought. He's definitely the best brother and son in the world. And that is how we get to the last episode of the series, episode 104, Mommy Boy. After getting a job as one of the best cleaners in Agent X's company, Dorothy leaves aside her work as a mother, causing a disaster in the house. Lucien, who supports his mother, decides to take charge of the situation, as it's evident that Wayne and Horace are upset that Dorothy isn't in the house, since without her, they can't do anything, not even dress themselves, nor clean or cook or go for groceries. That's why Lucien decides to step into his mother's shoes, but it turns out to be more difficult than he expected, since neither Wayne nor Horace pay attention to him. Seeing Lucien struggling, Tony gives some advice to help him gain some authority, like cut off Wayne's candy supply and start cooking food from the swamp, so that they have no choice but to behave. Lucien thinks Tony's suggestions are worth a shot, but his efforts fall flat, as Wayne and Horace simply make their strike bigger.
Can we eat out?
I don't know, Wayne. Lucien has that thing.
They even start to skip school and work. Lucien doesn't know what else to do, but luckily for him, things don't take long to return to normal, as Dorothy quits her job upon discovering her boss's sexist attitude. This makes Wayne and Horace very happy. At least he tries to do something to break this cycle, and there you have it. The full recap on the Cramp Twins. Be sure to comment down below which shows you want to see covered next. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.